South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, there are two, first of all, the question is whether there are leaks. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if there are leaks, is it just sloppy or someone going rogue, or is it being done for some political advantage? Neither is particularly good, but one is much worse than the other.
Well, I don't think you have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what's going on here. You've had 3 leaks of intelligence that paint the president as a strong leader. You talk about a May plot that was disrupted, where you had the Yemen underwear bomber trying to develop a new form of bombs that would be undetected. Talked about a double agent that was connected to Saudi Arabia and Britain, and that story was about how the Obama administration saved us all. You have another story about cyber attacks against Iran, very specific programs that we're engaged in and sharing the technology with Israel. Then you have this story about how the president looks over each drone attack and approves it himself. So I don't think it's an accident that you have 3 stories within about 45 days that paint the Obama administration as being effective in the war on terror at our national security detriment.
I don't understand what the motivation to do it politically. If anything else, you got to give it to the president. He got Osama bin Laden. He certainly is not reluctant to send drones. You can see by the effects. We got the #2 guy today with a drone. So that isn't exactly, if I would think, stepping back, his short suit in his hand. His bigger problem is the economy, unless you're trying to use the national security as a distraction from the economy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm with you. I would be the first to say, well done on bin Laden. I'd be the first to say the drone attacks are good tactical programs. You're doing a good job with the drones. You did a lousy job of leaving Iraq early. You're not taking Assad on. And how do the Iranians ever believe we're going to do something with them if we leave Iraq in chaos and we won't deal with Assad and all we talk about is leaving Afghanistan? Strategically, this president's made a mess of things, but tactically, the drone attacks, the bin Laden raid were all good things. But these leaks have one common theme. They're painting this president right before his election as a strong leader on national security. They're doing it in a way that our allies will not help us in the future. They're putting people at risk. This Pakistani doctor, how do we know about this? Somebody leaked the fact that the doctor was helping us find bin Laden, and he's in jail for 33 years. Senator McCain's right. There's a political advantage trying to be created from these leaks. It needs to stop. People's lives are at risk.
Well, but there's a difference between, there's national security, and there's also being a leader in the world so that we command respect, so that we greater influence, remain a superpower, and there's the economy. Those are 3 distinct issues, right? And so, national security is the one, I'd say, that he's got the least problem with, because knock on wood, and we're lucky we haven't been hit by anything, and he's gotten these terrorists.
I would argue that he's got a major problem, that he's handled Iraq poorly. We withdrew from Iraq. It's about to fall apart.
That's the other category. How he's handled world diplomacy and how we're seen.
You have strategic and tactical decisions. On the tactical level, getting bin Laden was a great decision by the president. Tactically, these drones attacks have disrupted al-Qaeda and the Taliban in the tribal regions of Pakistan. Strategically, we've let Syria get out of control. We fumbled the ball inside the 10-yard line on Iraq after we stabilized the country. He screwed that up, and quite frankly, all we do is talk about leaving Afghanistan. But the point of these articles, how could you say it's not about making him look strong? These articles have a common theme. They talk about programs in the Obama administration, very sensitive programs, and they're trying to portray this administration is very strong on national security at the detriment of our own national security.
And I don't mean to undermine it. Even Democratic Senators Dianne Feinstein.
Dianne Feinstein's been a hero here.
She's upset about it. Carl Levin
We're
is
going to
upset
have hearings about it.
And I realize there are going to be hearings about it. Do you think it's President Obama himself, or is this someone beneath him in this sort of chain? Everyone keeps talking about President Obama doing it.
The question that Senator McCain asked, is it done for political reasons? How could you say it's not?
But who gets blamed?
Well, I don't know who's responsible.
If that's it,
Well, we're going to have a hearing. Somebody in the White House, somebody connected to the highest level of the Obama administration, has decided to leak 3 different scenarios that make the president look like a strong national security leader at the detriment of operations going on throughout the world. The Saudis and the Brits are less likely to help us in the future because this was supposedly a double agent. What country is going to provide help to America if they read about their help in the New York Times?
Well, I don't get me wrong. I agree the leaks are horrible and they jeopardize our national security.
Yes, ma'am.
The only thing that's a little bit different, I'm wondering, is that the accusation that it's politically motivated and the suggested it's President Obama. It may, you know, those are different considerations.
I don't think the president called up the reporter, but look at the stories. They talk about people inside the Situation Room talking to reporters on background that were in a meeting with the president, a blow-by-blow description of how you decide which targets to hit, which baseball cards to act on.
So are you suggesting he's up to his eyeballs in these leaks? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I'm suggesting somebody in the White House is orchestrating an effort to leak classified information and programs to make the president look good. To think otherwise is just absurd. These three stories within 45 days of each other, or less than that, paint a portrait of an administration effectively fighting terrorism, talking about disrupting a bomb plot that would have put us all at risk. And a cyber attack on Iran that's trying to develop a nuclear weapon, and you throw Israel into the mix. You talk about how you attack an Iranian nuclear program, what kind of technology you use.
All right, one quick question before I've got to go to break is,
sure.
The Democrats run the U.S. Senate. You say there'll be hearings. Will Carl Levin and Dianne Feinstein, will they push for the hearings? Will there be hearings before the election?
Let me tell you, if this happened on a Republican president's watch, I would be asking for hearings too.
Before election? Now?
Absolutely.
Now?
Yes, ma'am, I would. This is egregious. It has to be dealt with, and the Congress in a bipartisan way is rightly offended. We need to get to the bottom of it.
Senator, thank you, sir.
Thank you.